8-minute Herald skirmishes that we so frequently see. But now finally we are into picks and bans. Aurelia already getting taken off the board for the side of T1. DFM debating their first choice.
Yeah, and if you saw on your screen there, coaches, Kazu is the coach now. He's not playing support for them. The DFM kind of 3 Korean Triforce is there, and this is what making this team so powerful. So straight into draft, straight into T1's first game at Worlds.
Lee Sin coming out as well, of course, following the LeBlanc. A lot of solo lane focused bans for now for the side of T1. Of course, we've seen a lot of high priority picks rise through the course of play-ins. Yuumi, obviously one of the new picks that has been added to that, at least theoretically, very high-powered, high-presence champion that could rise up. But in the meantime, pretty standard bans.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of trade-offs of first pick solo laners / 1-2 AD junglers. Things like MF Sinzao 1-2, picking support on 3, and leaving top lane till 5.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see if DFM actually leaves Jace up. Kana has been pretty much willing to first pick this, to blind pick this all the time in the LCK. It is something that was banned a lot against SKT because it's something that they really do like to play through, have that priority on the top side, use that to try to facilitate these Herald fights that I was talking about. You know, have Owner get up there, try to play through this power lane, and if you do leave it up, there's a very high chance that we're going to see Kana on it.
Debating again, final bans here. There's a lot still left open. Taking away Faker's Rise, of course, that and the Azir, I think, were the 2 champions that I love seeing him on most across that playoffs and gauntlet run. So limiting some of the potential options, but the rest of the pool wide open. And the Jace, as predicted, looks like it could be the first pick for T1.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can call it a flex, but like you said, Kana's Jace.
Yeah.
This guy loves to play winning lanes! Oh no, it's a Yuumi again!
It's a disaster!
That thing scares me!
Can we get a remake? Is it?
Yeah, can we just pretend that's
Do
a
the
Jace?
casters get a ban?
But the thing is, we've seen Yuumi already once in this tournament, right?
Yeah.
We're
Sure.
seeing it again. And it seems like T1
That's
maybe
true.
was scrimming up against that one, right? They're in different groups. They're first and second seed. They believe Yuumi is pretty powerful. And Keria is known for playing loads of supports, right? We've seen him play Thresh, we've seen him play Echo, Talia. He even plays like Anivia support in solo queue. This guy can play anything.
The thing is, like, Leona was wide open, and it's now been locked in by DFM.
Yeah.
And Carrie was such an incredible Leona player. So Yuumi has to be really strong for this man to ignore the Leona that's just sitting there with open arms waiting for him and go for the cap.
And I wonder if they're going to go Draven Yuumi, because we've seen a lot of Draven bans and we've seen a lot of Yuumi picks. I'm curious with that
especially against Ezreal. I would love Draven Yuumi.
Yeah, Ezreal blind pick, that sets up for Draven or MF Yuumi.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see. And I mean, one of the reasons that I just... okay. Talon coming through. Very likely will be Talon jungle here for Owner. Seraphine, another really strong pick. I don't know that we're going to see double enchanters unless they want to go like a true hyper carry. I do think that can work. I think enchanters we're actually seeing a lot less than I was expecting in play-ins, but that's one of the things that makes week 1 of groups so damn exciting, is the evolution of the meta from play-ins to groups, and then again from groups into the knockout stage. And Graves here, this could easily be top lane for Kana. You know, we've saw that played earlier today. You can go multiple different builds. There's strong lethality builds. There's kind of the life drain tank style build with Shield Bow and Bloodthirster. It's a pretty flexible champion. It can push you in constantly. And it does make it really difficult to find a good matchup into him on that top side for Heavy.
Yeah, and wonder what jungler we're going to go for here for DFM. Looks like it's going to be Lilia locked in, Xin Zhao and Lee Sin banned away. And like you said, the Graves top kind of rose to fruition ever since the Fleet Footwork changes. That kind of made his lane a lot stronger. We saw electrocute Graves in mid lane, but now it's more towards top side without base armor. It's really good into kind of bruiser champions or melee champions, which are AD, of course. Paired with the Talon, obviously you need some AP damage in mid, so see what Faker opts into for that. Things like Zoe could work pretty well, but I'm excited to see what AD carry they come out with, because now DFM have all the cards in their hands if they want to take those ADs away.
Lucian going to be the first ban here. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Draven come out as the second ban again. Draven Yuumi was the big bad of Scrim rumors. Of course, rumors don't always translate to stage, but wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of caution from the side of DFM as T1 really debate what they would like to take away. Certainly can set themselves up for a very positive topside matchup if that is where the Graves is going to go by limiting some of the potential picks.
Yeah, it seems like an obvious place to throw a couple of bans up towards Evie, you know, expecting that this Graves will be played by Kana. The Urgot going to get taken out. You know, one of those matchups that can be pretty threatening. It's also, just to be honest, a champion that not a lot of people play. If you have less familiarity with it, it's going to be more comfortable for Kana to play against something that's more, you know, in the meta. And I think it's a smart deny there against Evie, who had so much impact on it in play-ins.
Yeah, expect DFM to go for top lane on 4 and then kind of last pick mid, unless there's some kind of priority mid they want to pick away. Last ban you expect to go towards an AD carry as well. And there's the Draven taken off the board. So Kana obviously gets another ban towards top side, and then I think Faker will have to blind pick mid.
Debating the final options here. They are just going to ban the Zoe. Obviously saw an incredible performance just earlier from BDD, but wanting to limit some of Arya's potential comfort picks, potentially set Faker up for a little bit of a safer laning phase. But is it going to be saving that all-crucial last pick, that counter pick, for Arya in the mid lane. Where are DFM going to put those resources?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where Arya does go, because his 4 most played mid lane champs are actually all banned out. The set coming through here, this is potentially a flex, could be mid or top. It does feel more like an Evie style champion, to be honest. I am expecting, last pick to go towards Arya.
And Sylas, I think, is quite strong right now, especially with the Zoe ban, with the LeBlanc ban, with the Aurelia ban. Lots of mids taken off the board that actually do pretty well into Sylas. So I think Sylas could be a good blind pick here for Faker. That would be the reason behind the Zoe ban if they do opt into it. But I think that's a champion that's risen quite high into priority with these mid lane bans coming in the stage of the draft.
And honestly, Jhin, now locked in by Gumayusi, not something I was expecting to see whatsoever. Now, of course, you can make Jhin very fast, which is fun, but not really strong in my experience. Obviously could still be very good overall, but maybe the idea is when you're putting the Yuumi on the Graves, you want a carry who can sit back from range, provide a little bit more utility. We're going to have to see how exactly this will work out in the laning phase, but it will be Faker's Azir up against the Orianna from Arya. So a little bit more slow, steady mid lane matchup here.
Yeah, it feels like the Jhin is playing more of like a supportive style of role here. It is a relatively safe champion as far as the lane goes. The ultimate does provide a lot of value if you're sending in the Azir, sending in the Talon, trying to overload with the Yuumi and use that to dive in. The Jhin ultimate creates a lot of chaos for teams like this when layered over top.
Yeah, and I think if you look at both comps holistically, I mean, T1 are probably going to be playing top side here. Get Graves ahead. He has a pretty good matchup, and playing 2v2 top side will probably benefit T1. Playing bot side with Yuumi and 3v3s early, you will struggle. So I think there might be some kind of cross-mapping going on between the two teams. DFM towards the bot side, T1 towards the top side, unless they want to match each other. If Gang can get out of lane and start matching top lane, and actually being there as a numbers advantage for DFM, that can really help them if T1 try to threaten some kind of dive or early herald. But mid lane, not much Gang pressure till 6.
We're ready to see it. Mid lane not going to be too crucial early, but we'll have to see if either of those players can beat the mid to late game carry that they're looking for. And
keyboard.
Yes, Cajun. It's a very cool.
I like that keyboard.
Did you see the keyboard?
Did you see the keyboard?
It was thick.
I like this. This is the frantic level of excitement that comes with someone who's ready to cast worlds. Did you see that? Did you see it? Oh, look at that big keyboard. That's what we're here for. And ooh, look at that mouse pad. We're here for an exciting game. DFM versus T1. T1 looking to come out swinging. Every game counts here in this group stage. It is only the double round robin. For DFM, yes, they've already made history, but can they take it one step further? Can they take down T1? That's the question on everyone's mind. And on to the Rift we go. Kicking off, see exactly where the level 1 is going to take things to start off. Steel, of course, opting for the Predator on the Lilia. Keeping an eye in general on Owner's Talon, ready to see what he can do on this pick. But it looks like DFM potentially ready for something spicy here.
Yeah, will it be an early invade or will it be a late invade? We've seen Lilia's late invade for Raptors. Faker's going to put a soldier there, but I don't think it's spotted with the vision line yet. But I think it does now because they walked into it. Kana's going to E over the wall with carry as well, so a little bit of cheeky level 1s going on here from both teams.
Yeah, you can see if you can catch anyone off guard there. Graves E level 1, it's good for lane anyway. It's not really much of a sacrifice there by any means. And might be able to get a little bit of damage here off onto Evie.
Mana flow.
Spell Thieves as well. 20 gold lead. It's a wrap.
We take those.
And that's the SKT, rather T1.
That's that early game that we were talking about.
That's that early game we were talking about.
20 gold.
Check the gold lead.
Absolutely massive.
Don't lie.
The individual discrepancy is already coming through here. No, of course, I was curious to see exactly how long the Yuumi was going to stay. I thought maybe that's why they picked the Jhin, if they were just going to straight up commit to Kana going for the full invade. But for now, it looks like DFM are going to commit to giving the leash here in the early game, matched by T1. So neither bot lane going to have too big of an advantage or disadvantage from the early decision, as it has been matched on both sides.
And Jhin does always give really nice leashes if you stay for that fourth shot there, as Gumayusi. I'm going to be interested to see how DFM wants to play out this early game, if they are trying to play it more passively, just try to defend on that top side to minimize loss for Evie, because they do have a really strong 5v5. When you look at the ability to potentially combo in with Orianna, Leona engage, the ability to follow up on that with the Lilia as well. There's a lot of squishy members on SKT, but if they get ahead, it's going to be difficult for DFM to keep pace.
Yeah, it's all about DFM closing the gap, essentially. Like, Jhin can play max range with W's and the curtain call. Faker will have a lot of range on the Azir and can choose to go in whenever with the shuffle combo. But just for now in the early game, it looks like both junglers are pathing top. They will meet in topside river. Owner starting red and Steel starting blue. I mean, Steel will have red buff for longer if they do fight each other in the topside river. But Kana should have push, and you expect Owner to try to contest that.
See how much more action they want to commit to on the top side for now, as mentioned. Just a jungle clear, a little bit of pressure on the bottom side for Gumayusi and Carry. Of course, level 1, that range advantage is going to be the biggest factor. Gang still level 1 from DFM, so Yutapon, they are opting to concede the push for now, as it's the ever so thrilling battle for push in the mid lane that we'll probably continue to see until a jungler rears their head here.
Yeah, but if you look at the map right now, T1 have 3 pushing lanes. Bot has the push, top has the push, mid is contesting, but looks like it's winning out on the trades. So when both junglers full clear and look to crabs, Owner might be able to look for some kind of double crab unless Steel backtracks down to bot side.
I'm going to be interested to see if T1 tries to use their bot side priority to actually defend the bottom crab while Owner takes top crab, try to do a double scuttle that way. Or if Steel's even going to look towards it, because it does feel pretty risky to actually try to challenge in the river when T1 is just pushing in so far, and especially with Evie this low already.
Yeah, and just as you say that, as Gumayusi walks up and puts a ward in the bot side river to spot out Steel when he does go for that. They should know bot leash, but they're going into 2v2.
Quick lockup, Yuumi coming out, trying to body block as much as possible. Yutapon, though, is burning, has to be careful. The reload coming in. Yutapon flashing, got a safety, ticking, and a Yuumi grabbing the first blood. Cat's out of the bag, and Gang might reach right into a body bag after a play like that. Has to run for the hills. He's got a flash. He's going to hold it. He'll wait as long as possible, but T1 coming out swinging.
Yeah, DFM trying to go for a big play there, but didn't have the damage. You know, I think underestimating the exhaust there from Carrier. It's so difficult when you shift in aggressively and you get exhausted immediately like that. They don't have the damage to actually finish off the Jhin, and now Arya getting pushed back incredibly hard.
Yeah, the map's in such a rough state for T1. Both junglers are full clear and they're both pressing tab, looking at their lanes like, hey, top's down 10 CS, bot died 2v2, my mid laner's getting pushed in. What's happening? And if you look at the combat summoners, T1 have 3, DFM have 2. Ezreal is also Eing in front of 3 range creeps, right? So he's taking so much damage. Carrier can kind of dismount from Gumayusi and auto-attack him as well. So bit of an overextension there from the DFM bot lane.
I think Carrier played it really well. You know, the immediate jump off of Gumayusi, stand in between the Ezreal and the Jhin. The Qs can't actually come through at that point, and it does make it pretty difficult. Faker going to be able to slide to safety. I like the move from Gang, because that is one of the advantages that you do have on Leona.
And any mid laners out there will know how annoying that is when you're playing Azir and you get ganked by the enemy spot. Even if you don't die, the fact that you have to use WEQ to dash away, you lose your whole mana pool. So it looks like Faker might have to TP back, unless he saves it for the bot play, which might come in, but no, Gang just trying to contest this ping ward. Will get it, and Faker will TP back to the mid lane. But if you just look at across the CS numbers, DFM are really struggling right now.
And I think in general, this was the T1 early game we were expecting to see. T1, of course, is a team, one of the strongest, if not the strongest early game in the LCK. Now, they don't always close it out cleanly, but they always build these leads cleanly, and it's something that DFM are experiencing firsthand now as Owner just goes into the mid lane, just gonna lay down a little bit of damage and help Faker secure the push.
This is looking rough for Evie up on the top lane. The first plate is nearly already down pre-5 minutes. So that was with the turret defenses, with like double damage being taken to actually knock that down. He's already massively ahead in the farm. Does have his TP, but I think it's going to be a really, really tough one for Evie. If they lose control of mid lane, you're going to have Owner playing in the top side jungle, which means Steel can't actually get up there and threaten Kana, but the tower shots...
Kana running for his life, Owner on the way in. It's a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. Grit not stacked means Evie cannot finish the job.
Yeah, and Kana has TP, so he's going to definitely TP back here. Eevee will probably match him, and Owner's just being such a nuisance. You see how mid was losing the push there for a split second? He ran, pushed it out with Faker, went to the enemy Raptors, spotted out Steel so his lanes can keep pushing, and then took away his Krugs because he's being such a nuisance. Steel can't contest because he has no pryos. So Owner, his only real job in this game is to find the enemy jungler so these pushing lanes don't get collapsed on.
And you're so incredibly safe to do that as Talon. You know, you can just parkour out to safety if you run into Lilia. You know, pre-6, Lilia has really no recourse about it. Can't do anything for this. And Steel now trying to look towards the bottom side, but easily spotted out. And Faker's now moving down towards that river. So you're gonna have to see Steel being pretty careful.
You got a feel for Steel. There's really no windows to find anything. I mean, you go towards bot, but Gang has no flash, so they can't gap close onto Gumayusi. The only real positive DFM have right now is Evie saved his TP. So maybe they can find some kind of TP play on bot when the T1 goes for a Drake or some kind of bot play, because he's the only TP available on the entire map right now. But if the lanes stay in the current state, DFM is going to fall further and further behind.
And it's difficult too, because even if you go for that TP bot lane, you know Graves is taking at least one plate on the top side. So if you go and the play does not work out, you're putting yourself even further down. Lots of pressure on a single TP.
It's so difficult to actually TP away from that wave when it's just relentlessly being shoved to your tower. As you say, there's going to be free damage put down. And it's also pretty obvious to T1 where that advantage is. They don't actually have to make any sort of proactive play right now because they're kind of just passively winning out in all the lanes. Graves is getting more and more of an advantage on that top side. So you can chill, you can play it safe, and just make sure that you're not dying to any sort of a TP flank from Evie, because that was kind of the DFM bread and butter in play, and that's how they got a lot of their advantages down on the bot side, was through these cross-map plays.
Yeah, and the only danger of playing a Yuumi lane is the enemy support can obviously roam, right? You can have the push and you can win the lane and they're winning the 2v2. But if you look at Carrier right now, he's pairing up with Owner or he'll pair up with Gumayushi. Those are his timers, whereas Gang can kind of play on his own and look for mid ganks. If they don't work out, you just keep falling further and further behind. Gang's just losing XP, he's looking for a play that really isn't there. But now Owner and Carrier have paired up, Steel and Gang have paired up. That could be a 2v2.
Owner walking forward. Stun now coming in. Steel got the level 6 as well. They're trying to lock down the town for as long as possible. But Yumi's bringing in a lot of healing. The Ignite as well. Taking that's the Shadow Assault. Bring the blades right back. And Steel now has to run for the hills. He's trying to put him to sleep, but it doesn't look like he's going to have nearly enough damage. 2 for T1. Arya trying to make his way out. Owner very low. The Ezreal take him down, but Arya just going to have to walk away from this one. Faker wants a kill too, but it looks like Curtain Call might have to be the final answer here. One last bullet. One more hitting. A little wide there, expecting the backstep, but will not predict it.
Yeah, he almost got the third shot in there, the fourth shot in there to take down Arya. DFM even stepped into the river to contest anything, and T1 just instantly punished them.
Man, look how rich Carrier is, by the way. He bought a Lost Chapter. he's going damage. I think he's just probably going to go Lunens here. Got the early kill, just picked up a second, and has been constantly proccing the Spell Thieves because they were playing with the push. That's one of the things that's so nice about these Spell Thief supports, is you can get the gold off the tower, and here it is one more time. Owner running into Gang. There's just not nearly enough damage to actually knock down this town.
Yeah, we see it in the Axe Effect replay here. Owner goes for the 2v2. But the thing is, they're a little bit split up. Gang and Steel aren't exactly on the same page because they're not together, right? Gang is looking for the play alone, and essentially what happens there is Owner face checks him, and it's responsive play. Hey, he's face checking me. Steel, come here. But the thing is, Faker can move quickly, and the 3v3 already kicks off, and Gang's dead.
And the thing is, against a champion with as much sustain as Yuumi, if you split your damage, if you split your focus, you're not killing your intended target, and doubly so when you're very rapidly falling behind in gold. That said, you say Ludens, I say Kana's gonna run, and that was an oopsie. Steel now hopping her way in, prancing. He's getting dunked down. Is it enough? Owner on the way, and they might still be able to turn this. Kana might just be a killable. Steel, you're just too squishy. Oh, the Bambi flashbacks from MSI. They're coming in clutch. Kana's still gonna get taken down. Big Fist comes in from Evie, and Owner gonna make it at least 2 for 1.
You know the Gandalf meme where he has, I have no memory of this, you know? Where Kana flashed away and then ults back into the team. What happened? It was a 2 for 1. We won the play.
It was a bait, didn't you see? Perfect setup there for Owner. And people say Graves doesn't have gank assist.
There it is. Just not quite assisting the right team, but it works out.
Good bait overall, but you can see the power of Talon, right? Owner just feels like he's at the right place at the right time. Yes, he's been full clearing, but he's found Steel multiple times on top side, and you can use process of elimination. Steel's top side. I pushed him on his top side. Faker.
Go. Arya getting scooped back. Talon does big damage. Shockwave good, but doesn't look like it's going to be good enough. Arya's still walking though. The Soldier's going to finish the job. Faker going to grab another one. That's a 4.5k gold lead to 10 minutes.
And that's the punish on the missing flash, thanks to Gumayushi's roam earlier. The Jhin ult forced that out. They know they can get a kill, and now it's a smooth Herald transition right towards mid. And this game is quickly getting out of hand. They're already 4k up. Make it just about 5.
Yeah. And the thing is, for T1, Owner especially is someone who I've kept my eye on a lot through tracking the pros. This guy is the highest elo player in solo queue right now out of all bootcamp players in Worlds. He's almost like top 10, I think, on the ladder, and he has such good raw mechanics as he goes on to Steel.
Now going in, easy fast kill pickup. Not gonna see the Zenith Blade connect from Gang either, so that's it. He just walks out, walks in.
He's just taking over the map. How can Utapon even go into bots right now? If Owner flips over that wall, that's gonna be really scary.
And guys, I think I figured it out. It's not a Ludens angle. It's an Everfrost angle. You see, if you strap a snare to a Talon, nobody's getting out.
I mean, all this extra damage, this is Faker going in. It's just going to be for a trade, but I mean, Carrier does a significant amount of extra damage at this point in the game, right? And, you know, it's so easy for Owner to actually reach lethal damage with him strapped on. They have the Ignite, they have all the damage from the ult, and he's going a damage build, and Carrier is really a real threat here when paired up with Owner.
Yeah. DFM really struggling this game, of course. They're so far behind, almost 6k gold down in 11 minutes. But I think the fact that they're even here is such a big achievement for the region, right? We've said it many times before, but the first LGL team ever to make a World's group stage is a huge, huge achievement for this team and then for the region itself. And anything on top of that's just like cream on top of the pie.
Sure, absolutely. And I think generally, when we look at how a lot of the smaller regions will take games off the bigger regions, it's usually through strong, aggressive, surprising early game. That said, that's where T1's strongest. So right now, things are looking very difficult. Evie going to go for the dunk back, going to pull in with the Haymaker as well. Faker looking a little bit low, but Evie now going to be in trouble. Faker not afraid whatsoever, pushes him back, goes golden. He's playing for style points at this point.
Yeah, Faker just TP's top. Arya doesn't have it yet. The TP back to lane because he keeps getting ganked.
Felt the air on his backside.
Just
Stretched his back. A little massage there.
The sniper's training on his head, and he just happens to duck at the last moment. Here comes Owner. Little kitty cat strapped to his back, and I don't think they can go for the dive here, but maybe it can get turned on. Do they have enough burn damage? Shadow Assault now comes out. He's still trying to get it done. Gore Drinker keeping him healthy. He's got a Yumi to ferry him out to
Red
safety.
Smite almost got him.
Oh, that was really close, actually. They were going pretty aggressive there. I mean, they didn't even have the Yumi ult available. They're just igniting the Leonos at like 80% health, and now TP coming in here from Heavy. They're looking for another play.
Ana has to wait on the dash until Set goes for the pullback. Now trying to walk back into range of Carrier. He's got a big shield now coming in. Yumi all being used early there. He's going to find the triple snare now. Going golden here on the Lilia. Damage going to get flashed away from Evie, now going to be in trouble. And again, T1 just turning this play right back in their favor. Evie can run, but he's not going to get anything done.
T1 is everywhere and anywhere. Faker's back in top lane. Carrier's roaming top. Gumayushi's running bot. Steel's dead.
Yeah,
Where did this cat come from? It's just a lone cat just wandering up the river.
Whose cat is this?
This is the
Somebody lock this thing up. This is ridiculous.
This is the
Is that yours, Kangel?
No, it's not my cat. It's not my cat. But this is the problem. I feel so bad for Steel. All 3 lanes are getting pushed in, but you have to do something.
Is this the problem? That the Yumi has as much gold as the Orianna? Is that what
And
you're
the enemy
referring?
jungler?
Yeah. Because that could be a problem.
Yeah. You know, generally, I don't think the games where the Yumi has as much gold as I do go well, I would say. Gang, though, running. Still very tanky. Talon doing a lot of flips. He looks very cool.
He's dead. Gang trying to get deep vision, but
Yeah, that's it.
T1 kind of own the map right now. They own more than the river, so if you step in it, you're getting collapsed on non-stop. And DFM, almost 10k gold lead. They're really running out of plays.
Yeah, I really don't like how Owner stole the kill from their carry, though. You know, carry
Yeah,
really
he could have got
used
Ludens
that.
on the next page.
Exactly. Sloppy stuff.
Kind of weird, man.
This is like maximum ancient Egypt playstyle. You respect the cat. Do not disrespect the cat. Cats are sacred. Give the cat all the kills. All right, Gumayusi pushing in the tower. This one should be easy. He has been a spectator to this absolute bloodbath. His job is to take the farm while Faker and Owner and Carrier get to have some fun here in the mid lane. Arya just barely holding on. I don't think he thinks it's very fun.
Yeah, when the game's this fast-paced, does T1 really care about dragons? It's a scaling objective, you know, stack up a few drakes, but no. Owner's just gonna gank bot, he's gonna gank mid. Now he's in top lane. Carrier's chilling. Faker's taking mid tower. Yeah, it's a rough one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
my analysis.
I was going to say, there's not really a lot more to say than that. Faker is currently level 11 to Steel's level 9. He's trading damage with the tower in exchange for damage on the Lilia, which is never a good sign when someone can do that with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the completed items across the board. It just gets so difficult. Ludens is done now for Carrier. Let's go.
I need to see the damage done.
Yeah, I want to see the damage dealt.
We got to get the damage done. Marcus, if you're listening, we need the damage done. This Yumi has to be carrying the game right now.
Gumayushi's just been pushing bot and pressing W every now and then, and Carrier has probably like triple his damage right now, but maybe the play can come in here from DFM. They don't have any TPs.
Right. Gumayusi.
Nope.
Oh, gang misstepped. You thought the cat attached to someone was the threat, but it's the solo cat you got to be scared of. Gang running for the hills. The curtain call going a little bit wide, but the final shot is going to connect.
At this point, really, the Jin should attach to the Yumi.
Yeah, that's true.
He can start riding around on the book, sniping people.
He's got Swift, he's got a Gale Force. His only job is to run and then Gale Force towards someone else so Yumi can reattach.
If Carrier buys like Berserker Greaves and then starts running around the map.
Oh man,
my
look at the
God.
damage. That's so much damage.
And that's
20% of his health.
That's going to be bot tower as well. T1 have all 3 altars. I mean, props to T1, of course, for making so many plays around the map and just making sure that every single play DFM go for, which has majority of the time been either Steel looking for a gank or Gang looking for some kind of roam, they've just instantly shut it down.
And your LoL Esports stats update, Jin at 2.5k damage, Yumi at more than 5k.
There you go.
Double.
Yep.
That's what you expect. Now, of course, see, DFM can hold on in this play. Gang still going for the aggressive engage here onto Owner, but Owner just going to leap right back onto safety. Arya in the area. It's going to be a sleepy Graves, but he manages to get over the wall. Big Shadow Assault. Oh, parkour. Here we go, baby. Assassin's Creed. Jump forward, leap in. That's some Nakazi in diplomacy. A triple kill for Owner.
Oh, I took the Quadra. No. Owner took Carrier's Quadra.
Yeah, Owner took the Quadra.
From Carrier.
That was an easy quadrangle.
And look, it's Worlds. It's high stakes. But it's also a 14k gold lead.
Yeah.
DFM, they're going to have more games, they're going to have more opportunities, but until they start making the comeback, it's kind of hard to believe that
I
it's
mean,
possible.
you take a look up at the top lane, and it's an Iron Spike Whip and a couple rubies against 2 full items, so That one's looking tough, and they're cracking the base here already 17 minutes in.
Yeah.
T1 looking
I mean,
incredibly
Utapon
strong.
let the inhib die. So maybe
It's a freeze angle.
maybe we're freezing in
That's a
bot.
comeback.
Yeah. It's a freezer in bot angle, and late game, I guess.
How late is late game?
We're talking 40, 50,
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
60 days.
And the new Axe Effect replay look as Owner shamelessly steals three kills from Keria.
Man, the amount of AoE damage coming out here on the re-engage.
Yeah.
Graves ult comes through, the Talon ult plus the Rake across multiple
with the
members.
Gore
Drinker as
Yeah.
well, hitting multiple members. They just get absolutely roasted.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a mental breaker for me at least. DFM holding on strong for now. See, maybe they can find that single pick. They can find that angle. The problem is, Keria is always in the area, and he's building X-Tech Alternator. No, he could have built like anything remotely supportive. He's here to one-tap
I was
people.
expecting the death cap, to be honest.
Well,
man.
Owner might be caught.
Okay, a little bit of nothing gonna happen. Now it's the curtain call coming out. Boom, boom. Gumiushi doesn't even really get a chance to fire his ult as opposition is already dead.
Well, Evi's got a kill, so he's got one kill more than everyone else. Take that, team.
Having a step forward, Gore Drinker maybe keep him. Oh,
dead now.
no. Dies mid suplex. They wanted to get it, but it is not going to happen.
That's
And the
my
thumbs
favorite
up
emote.
Teemo.
That's my favorite emote. The thumbs up from Teemo. Scout approved.
I don't
You
think
like
this.
it more than just the classic tried and true regular thumbs
I
up?
like normal thumbs up first.
Scout approved is a banger.
I just, yeah. If this is the power of the Scout's code, I'm sold. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's going to be mid inhib falling at 19 minutes in. Bot inhib down. There's a wave coming in. T1 can move top as well. So DFM, they have to make some kind of play on this top inhib because having 3 inhibs down at 19 minutes, it's all but done.
Yep. At this stage of the game, T1 beating them with their wallets. They can afford to eat all these skills and still probably survive. That's going to be the engage. That's going to be the shockwave. But there goes Owner to the back wave. There goes Faker with the double push. Evie now pulling back with the haymaker. Just not going to do much at all. But they are going to grab one kill. One kill traded back. Steal finally getting his revenge. But T1 look to finally take this game. 19 minutes in. Absolute barn burner. They might struggle to end it here just due to the raw power of the towers. But with that timer so long, they should be able to close it.
Yeah, Gang standing in base. He's laughing on the camera. There's really not much you can do at the early stages. First 5 to 10 minutes when all the plays were shut down. It's desperation plays non-stop and the chances just keep slipping and slipping away from your hands. T1 with a statement game for their first game of Worlds 2021.
Yeah, I mean, you give T1 such a powerful early game draft. You talk about it, 3 pushing lanes, allows Owner to do what he wants to do. They win the 2v2 fight on the bottom side. Keria is unlocked to move around the map without really any punishment towards that Jhin. And Owner plus Keria was such a dangerous combo here.
Yeah. And Owner just basically, you could see what his job was. A couple times, just make sure mid has push, which enables Faker to roam and be first to plays in the river. Both side lanes already have the push by default. Find the enemy jungle, and then you just took over the game.
Yeah, just for the first, 5 minutes, he finds the enemy jungle. For the next 15, he kills the enemy jungle. I mean, he just waited. He got a single item. The Yuumi got a little bit fed, and then he got to just kill everybody. I think it's a good time to be Owner. All your lanes are pushing. You just have to play track the Fawn. He found the Fawn. The Fawn died. They won the game. Overall, clean finish. DFM will see what they can do in the next game, but our eyes are on the bot lane for our next game between 100 Thieves and Edward Gaming. And Dashed Emily are ready.